I've been advocating for women since forever. I think there were times. I mean, when I was much younger, my parents always often brought their issues to me, and when they bring their issues to me, I'd judge, and when I judge, I was always on my mom's side. So my dad used to say, "You're so partial. You're so partial." But as I grew older and I started becoming more mature, I think I can proudly and by God's grace say I'm now more just. They still do it sometimes, look at what your daddy did, look at what your mommy did. A lot of homes, they do that. And, sometimes my daddy will be like, let's call Olamide. Her judgment will be fair. So I see myself as a very balanced woman when it comes to the gender roles or the gender discussion because, first and foremost, I had practiced with my parents. And then later on, when I got into university, I discovered that I was quite burdened by ladies' issues generally. Even prior to that, when I was in secondary school, I noticed that I was not in any relationship in secondary school. I was a bit of a tomboy. I have two older brothers, so and I went to a girls' school, so I wasn't really into that yet. I wasn't in a hurry. So I noticed that a lot of my friends used to come to me. It's a weirdness in the world. I still ponder on it. Why married or dating couples take their problems to those who are not in relationships. I don't know why, but that I experienced that in real term. People will be going through issues and they'll come and meet me and say, "Oh, Olamide, I'm going through this. I'm going through that. What do you think?" It had been happening to me since I was in secondary school, and then I used to listen to some of my friends whom their mothers were going through physical abuse with their dads. And I have stories for days in that wise. Then when I got into university, I became one of the advocates for young ladies. I was doing some sort of it was some sort of work along the lines of helping young ladies that got pregnant or ostracized and were cast out by their parents. Back in the day, if you got pregnant, you were thrown out. No one would support you. But I mean, it's better now. If a lady got pregnant, the parents could get upset, but eventually they'll support their daughter and then accept the baby, and they'll be happy that they're about to become grandparents. It wasn't so back in the day. So I was part of a group called Girl Talk. And what we used to do in Girl Talk is that we used to gather money, get funds. We used to put up billboards in Unilag. We had a counseling line. If you got pregnant, no need for you to go and abort the baby. You can call us, talk to us, and then we could help. And if you happen to be sent out, we had a leader whom, if during the period of the pregnancy, she opened up her home, you could stay with her till the time of delivery. So I think that was the time it became formalized and institutionalized in my mind in terms of being a women's advocate or a female advocate. I just saw that really and truly there needs to be some extra help as of that time. Not because the boy child does not need help. It's just not something that was necessary as of then. It wasn't allowed. There was a lot of female child abuse back then. I can tell you, down from the baby boomers into the millennials, you could almost find every home had a girl that had been, either sexually abused or had been approached or touched inappropriately. So yeah, since I was young, I'd always been a female advocate in that wise. But I wasn't. Life tried to make me this angry, over aggressive person, and I used to, by God's grace, identify it. Once I identify it, I would deliberately choose a manual response as to an automatic response of becoming angry or bitter or whatnot. So, like I said, when it comes to women being hardened or nasty or whatnot, it can be annoying. Like, why is she like this? In fact, I live my life by the book, by the scriptures. There is a part in the scripture that talks about there's three things that lacks, makes people ponder, and one of them is a hateful woman when she's married. You can see a hateful woman, and you're wondering how in the world did she get a husband? Perhaps that husband was sent to her to restore her. You did not see her process when she became that hateful woman. You don't know what happened to her, how her heart was stolen, or how she was broken, or how she was molested. You never can tell. Do you see? So yes, it is understandable. We need to agree to that it is an understandable situation as much as it is inexcusable.